Welcome back to Gero Dynamics. Okay, so this video is not going to be exactly what I thought it was going to be, but I figured I'd do this video anyways. I was having some problems with the TCG player collection organizer. I think my hat's a little crooked. Oh, oh, oh. Anyways, I need a haircut. So I was having some problems with the TCG collection organizer. Even put in a ticket. They said it's actually just a problem with the system as a whole that they're working on, where I couldn't just bring up my Double Masters collection or Double Masters 2022 collection and just kind of like start looking at it individually that way. But I made it work. So basically, what I wanted to talk about was the value that I pulled from Double Masters 2022, and so I wanted to start with the draft real quick. The draft, I put in $51 to play the draft. The value that I pulled out of the packs at TCG low, mind you. So TCG low is kind of what I look at, because if I'm going to try to sell a card, it's going to be at TCG low, or maybe even a little lower, to encourage people to purchase the card, especially locally, if I'm not going to be shipping it. So I try to get it at a price where people are more likely to say, you know what, yeah, it's worth making the effort of going and meeting up with this guy, rather than just ordering it online and possibly having to pay shipping or whatever it is that goes along with that, not being 100% sure of the quality of the card. When you get it, they can look at it before they purchase it from me, but I still kind of want to encourage them by having the price be a little bit below TCG low. So by the way, if you're local, that's usually what I do. If you're looking at getting a card from me, just kind of take a look at TCG low and we can work out something, especially on newer cards like this, where pretty much everything at TCG low is near mint to light play. If you're looking at older cards and my cards are in good condition, then obviously TCG low is not going to work, because a lot of the lower priced cards are going to be heavy play, moderate play on older cards. But newer cards, most of them should be near mint to light play. So anyways, so I pulled about $63 in value when I checked it. Prices are all over the place right now. When I first pulled, well, I'll talk about that when I go to the collector box. But there was a card that I pulled that dropped significantly, that I know offhand, and so that hurt my value on the box of the collector box. But a lot of the cards are going back up again, so it just kind of depends on when you check the prices. And so when I checked the prices, TCG low was about $63. I put about $51 into the draft. That does include my prize packs. So with just the 3 packs from the draft, I probably wouldn't have got there. But with the prize packs, I was able to get there. So, going 2-1, getting 2 prize packs was, part of what put me over. But the draft is a different animal, because there's a lot of fun that goes into a draft. So just even if I hadn't made anywhere near the value back, I would have been happy, because I enjoyed the draft, had a great time with friends. It's just also nice to be able to pull some value out of your draft. And I did pretty good. TCG average is $98. So when you're looking at what the card is technically worth, it's probably going to be TCG average, TCG mid, one of those types of prices. If you're trading it to somebody, usually you'll look at that sort of thing for trade value to another card. I look at both cards at TCG mid. And so that's kind of what I think of when I think of the value of the card. So there's what could I sell the card for, and what's the value of the card. So the value of the card is quite a bit more than what I probably would end up selling it for. So I mean, technically, I guess it's worth what someone will spend. So that's kind of an interesting way to look at it. But it is what I do, and I use TCG mid to trade. So that's kind of important for me to look up. It also kind of gives you more of an idea of where the card's going. Right now, you could, it's a race to the bottom, so you're going to be able to find some TCG low prices that are probably some good bargains. So sometimes when you're trying to match up with TCG low, there's going to be that one card that's, significantly lower than the rest of the pack, and that's because, that person is trying to sell that card just like I'm trying to sell the card. And so it's called race to the bottom, some people call it. And so sometimes an average price is giving you a better idea of what the card is worth than TCG low, but that's still how I look at it. Anyway, so draft value is about $63. TCG average is about TCG mid, TCG average, whichever phrase they're using at the time. I think in the collection tracker it's TCG average, but if you just pull up the card, I think it's TCG mid. I'm not sure. Anyways, so worth about $98. Moving on to the collector box. The collector box, so when I purchased the collector box and the draft box together, I spent $520, and I don't think I've quite got the idea of how much I spent on each one straight. I think the collector box was probably $220, and then so that would make the no, because he didn't charge $300 for the maybe it was $240, $260. Maybe that's what it was. $240, $260. Either way, I spent about $520. Let's go with $220 to $240, $260. Because what I realized was I basically made exactly my value back with both of the boxes. So for the collector box, I got TCG low right at $260. So if it was $240 for the box, about $20 extra in value there. Mind you, I don't add up every single card when I was doing this, and just in general. I did go a little lower than I normally would, but so I think I went to about $1. So if a card was worth $1 or more, I threw it in there. Anything under $1 I didn't include. And so when you look at TCG low versus TCG average, there's a couple more cards that probably got thrown into the mix, so that also increases the average because there are a couple of cards in there that jumped up over the $1 mark. But TCG low was about $260, TCG average was about $350. So TCG average made me feel a lot better about opening the box versus TCG low. But yeah, if I went out and just tried to sell all the cards that I pulled from the box, I would probably just be breaking even on that. And as you guys all know, the boxes are already jumping in value, and I think I made plenty of jokes about this leading up to the videos. These were going to be choices that I regret. In a way, yes. In a way, no, because I enjoyed opening them. I love making the videos, even for, a few people watching, as, not too many people watching the videos, but it's also more for me. I love cracking packs, but I'm going to be one of the first people to also say, go out and buy your singles. We'll talk about that a little bit. But the boxes, just value-wise from the box, I broke even. TCG low, TCG average is looking pretty good. I'm going to be holding on to a bunch of these cards, not going to sell them right away. So a lot of the values should start creeping back up on some of those cards. But yeah, I enjoyed opening it. I didn't get the huge pulls. I didn't actually, the biggest pull at the time when I pulled it was the foil etched Warrior's Oath, I think it was, and that's the card I was talking about. I remember when I first pulled it, it was sitting at just over $80. Now I think it's sitting around $40. So significantly dropped. Some of the other cards have dropped and then increased. I think actually this wasn't from the collector box. It was from one of the individual collector packs I opened. It was a full art foil Smothering Tithe that had dropped in value significantly and has since raised in value significantly. So it's on the rise again. And so, the prices are all over the place right now. But if I had kept the box sealed, I definitely would be doing a lot better financially. And then if I had gone out and just purchased some of the cards, that individual singles that I wanted, I would have been doing better in that regard too, because I didn't pull. It was interesting because, I wanted I wanted all the bounce lands, and I really didn't pull that many of them. And I've watched other videos where that's all they pulled in the uncommon slot. So it just kind of is one of those things. It's like if you really want to pull something, there's a good possibility you're not going to. So go out and buy your singles. It's good advice. If you enjoy opening packs, by all means, I feel you there. I do it all the time. But as far as just getting the singles you want, go out and buy them. Okay, so going on to the draft box, we'll say it was 260. I'm almost sure it was 260. I think I did the math wrong again, didn't I? 240 and 260 wouldn't be 520. 240 and 260 is 500. So I'm going to say 240, 280. That's probably what it was. 240, 280, that would put it at 520. Okay, we'll go with that. 280. So not as good then. TCG low was 268. So under that 280 mark. And then TCG average was 362, so over. So again, would have been better off just holding it, or at least like opening it with the draft, right? If I had used that box to get in a second draft with my friends, it probably would have been a better use of the box. Again, I enjoyed opening it. I loved making the video. I had a great time. But as far as what should have been done with the box, I either should have left it sealed or I should have drafted it with friends. And just based on the value that I opened, because I didn't open enough to break even. But when you take into consideration the two boxes together, I just broke even there. So it is what it is. It's pretty close to breaking even. So I don't feel like I lost money. But I have lost money in that they would have increased in value, or I could have had lost the ability to have a draft with the draft box. So there's all of these things that you weigh when you're looking at whether you should open a box. Next is the singles. So I didn't pull, like I said, I pulled one of the foil bounce lands, and I pulled 3 copies of it, the Azorius Chancery. So I had to go out and buy singles of the other, what is it, the other 5? I think there's 6 of them. Or was it the other 4? There was 5 of them. Either way, I had to go out and buy the rest of them in foil full art. So part of the reason of opening the box is to get certain cards. I didn't get those certain cards, even at the uncommon, so I ended up having to go out and buy those. Actually, I'm wrong about there being 3 foil Chanceries, Azorius Chanceries in the box, because I did open some individuals that I pulled at least 1, if not 2 of them. So I may have only opened 1 foil bounce land in that whole collector box. If you watch the video, maybe you know. And that's disappointing, right? So you open a box to try to get something, you're probably not going to get there. If you open a box just to have fun and open a box, that's great. I opened the box, I opened some fun cards. Did I open any of the big hits? No, I didn't. So, I didn't even get that feeling of, I got the best card in the set, or I got the card I was really looking for. I opened some fun stuff though, so I had a good time with that. These are the things you need to weigh when you're thinking about whether you want to open a product like this. It's not so much, not such a big deal when you're looking at like standard packs and they're like, the set price and they're not overly expensive. If you can afford a box, or if you can afford, a handful of packs, a bundle, whatever it is that you can afford, opening those up, having a good time opening some packs. But when you're looking at a set that's this expensive, it's really something that you need to kind of like weigh your options. And I will, the next time another one of these sets comes out, I will really be, thinking to myself, I enjoy making these videos, but is that the best use of the box? Is that the best use of my money to be opening one of these boxes? So I have to go out and buy all these singles, that I didn't end up pulling. I pulled one of the full art Richard Ferguson cards. Need to go out and buy the rest. I actually pulled 2 of the same card, but I think one came from the draft box and one came from the collector box, or one came from an individual pack and one came from the collector box. But it was the Grim, not the Grim Flayer, and so I opened that one twice instead of getting multiple ones. So as much as I love opening packs, the moral of this story is buy singles. A lot of people that say that are right when they say it. So other than the joy and that feeling that you get from opening the packs, which is great and it's important, either draft, buy singles. All right, I think I'm going to end the video on that note. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing a couple more different types of videos moving forward. I'm not going to be able to open any product for a little while, but what I'm going to do is I am going to get this I'm gonna get this channel really going at some point. I'm going to be doing other stuff other than Magic content. I'm going to be doing other stuff other than opening cards for Magic content. You know, maybe deck building, things like that. More when my collection is finally completely organized. I keep making progress, but maybe it'll be finished by September. Maybe I'll do more with, you know, how I deal with my collection and how I'm moving, you know, how I'm trying to move the cards that I want to sell. But what I want to do is I want to get an intro, I want to get a song, I want to, you know, maybe get some art, learn how to do thumbnails, really try to do some stuff. And then really honestly, you know, I've had some good views, like considering how many subscribers I have versus how many views on some of my videos. Some of them have been pushed by the algorithm, blessed by the algorithm. But I think I'm going to try different things just to see what happens. If you don't like that content, you can either just ignore it, or, you know, if you really are, this isn't for me, I understand. But maybe keep an eye out, because I will, every time a set comes out, I'll probably be opening some packs. So so just keep your eye out and maybe check back in when the set comes out, see if I put out a video. All right, everybody, take care. Have a good day.